Should you pay a salary to your coaches and staff at your gym? Well, the answer, like the answer to so many other questions, is it depends. Today, I'm going to walk you through how you can make that decision, when you should pay a salary to your staff at a gym and when you really shouldn't. My name is Chris Cooper. If you enjoy this video, please hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and feel free to ask questions below. I'm also going to share in the comments below this video a guide that we call Entrepreneurialism 101. And it's a guide to how your staff can make more money by growing the pie for everybody at your gym instead of just taking a larger cut and money away from the owner. Salaries are really about risk. If you pay your staff salaries, then you bear all the risk for their performance. You're incentivizing them to show up. And it's a fragile model because it limits their upside and it puts them at high risk when cash gets tight. The alternative is entrepreneurship. If staff create value for your business, then they'll be truly irreplaceable. They'll have more job security, they can make more money without that ceiling, and they grow the pie for everybody. Every staff person should generate at least 2.5 times what they're paid, or create the time for somebody else to create that value for them. Now, you can get our free Entrepreneurship 101 guide by clicking the link below this video, but you can use the entrepreneurship model to give your staff the freedom to earn more money without that ceiling and without the time cost of becoming an entrepreneur. They don't have to do what you did and take the risks that you took and starve for 2 years like you did. You shield them from the risk and you give them a high leverage opportunity to use your platform and your audience to deliver their excellent coaching. When you have around 150 clients, you might want to make your first salaried hire. Usually this is a general manager, and this is somebody who's responsible for maintaining the excellent delivery of your service while you focus on growth, sales, and marketing. When people receive a salary, they also carry the burden of responsibility. They have to fill in all the gaps. So the salary creates some time flexibility for them, but also some time risk. A salaried person must be willing to solve problems instead of just reporting the problems back to you for you to solve. So for example, if a staff member is going to answer the phone in the middle of the night or rush to the gym to meet the plumber at midnight and stop the flood of water and then clean it all up and get the gym ready for the next morning without involving you, then that's worth a salary because that person is taking responsibility for solving the problems and is no longer constrained by a checklist or a schedule. So in other words, your general manager, usually the first person paid a salary, is not trading money for time anymore. Now that person is trading money for responsibility. In return, by paying a salary, you, the owner, take back the burden of risk. You pay the salary whether the business is profitable or not. And that means the salaried person gets paid even if you don't. So should you pay a salary in your gym? Right now, we've emerged from the COVID crisis. We're looking at, maybe there's going to be an economic downturn. There's always some kind of crisis going on, right? And that's why gyms who are just barely profitable should rarely take the risk of paying a salary. Gyms who are already struggling, who are not paying their owners at least $100K a year, or even if you're in the middle of a rebrand or a pivot, like you're on shaky ground, you should not be paying a salary. Even though you think like you have to incentivize your staff, salaries don't incentivize staff. Even though you think like salaries are the best way to retain staff, salaries are not the best way to retain staff. They're not the best way to motivate staff. What they are is salaries are sometimes like your save game button. If you want everything to stay the way that they are now, then you can solidify what you're currently doing by paying somebody a salary to maintain the current level of delivery and the size of your business. Or you can pay a salary for them to maintain delivery and ops while you take the new time that you've bought yourself to worry about growing, right? But in normal times, the biggest errors that gym owners make with salaries are really about abdication. And I've screwed this up at least twice myself. So you think like, I hate doing sales. I'm going to delegate this out to somebody else. Or you think like this coach needs to earn more money. So I'm going to provide some cleaning work for them or some admin work or some bookkeeping or some management or some sales work or whatever, some social media work to fill up their schedule. And so what you do is you pay them a salary of 40 hours of the person's time. And then you try to backfill that with like this hodgepodge of tasks, but that never ever works because each of those roles requires a different skill set, and work expands to fill the time that's allotted to it. So if the person that you put in charge of your billing software doesn't understand it well, then it will take them like 10 hours every week to generate the reports that somebody else could do in an hour. And this is the true risk of salaries. You're incentivizing people to show up and do things that they don't like slowly. And then, of course, the coach is often bad at those things. So the owner winds up losing the manager and their best coach, or the best coach and their social media person, or the best coach and their CSM. Instead of just creating roles for people that you like, you're better to hire the best people for specific roles. And a salary, the biggest mistake people often make with salaries is just lumping a bunch of stuff together to justify paying somebody for 40 hours a week. Most gyms are owner-operator businesses. You can hire people to replace yourself in low-value roles like cleaning, and you can hire to replace yourself as the coach. But these are all hourly jobs until you reach at least 150 clients, a good level of profitability, and you're making a good income yourself. Then that's when you require this management layer of staff, and that manager needs to carry the burden of responsibility to earn a salary. If nothing else sticks here, remember this: nobody makes a good salary until you, the gym owner, are making a good salary first. And if you've reached that point, great. That's when you can start looking at who's going to bear the burden of responsibility, who's going to actually manage things, and what is the ROI that I am getting from this investment in my staff. Hope that helps.